Evening, people. Welcome to another Red Zone. Welcome to another episode of the Red Zone. Yeah, whatever I was going to say there. But football and sport in general generally sort of teaches you a lot of lessons, and none more so than when you don't finish the game, it bites you in the ass. And that's what happened to Liverpool today. I normally go around the table, ask these boys how they are, but judging by their faces and my face as well, I'm not well. I'm full of cold. Liverpool were full of shit today, but let's go around the table anyway. Abi, you first. How we doing, bro? You okay? I'm coughing. Sarib's coughing, but Liverpool were stuttering today.
Yeah, we're obviously not okay today. I don't know how to explain it. I was sort of seething at 2-1 Asim when we were ahead. I thought let's just make sure we put the game away now. We've been I didn't think we were great today. Very short, very leggy. Um, we talk about the Prague game. Some of the players that were on for Prague, did they need that? And people will say, oh, they need minutes, they need this, they need that. Absolute hogwash. And then Anthony scores in the 87th minute with his right foot, second goal of the season. I think his first one came against Newport in the same competition. And then from there on in, it's just a seesaw. It was a seesaw of a game. It wasn't a Liverpool game today. It wasn't a game that was managed well by Klopp. And Eric Ten Hag, he's kind of got our number. You know, it's one draw, two wins, and that 1-7-0 loss. But listen, they wanted it more today. That's the embarrassing thing. I'm actually embarrassed of being a Liverpool fan today because those players today, they were utterly embarrassing. And I don't want this, oh, we've got bigger fish to fry. The league's the number one priority. You don't lose to Manchester United in this manner, Asim. When it's Manchester United, whether it's the League Cup, Community Shield, FA Cup game, League game, you want to win these games and you want to win them well. You go to Old Trafford, you scrape the win today. You just close up and shop at 2-1. Some of the substitutions, utterly embarrassing. And yeah, we fell short. We'll go into the game because I don't want to. Because I could go all day long. I could go for the full hour, but now I'm gonna let these two underneath me have a chance.
Guys, I'm gonna let him realize it by himself. I'm not gonna say anything. But yeah.
Today is not about fucking messing around, is it?
You're the one who's on mute. What do you mean messing around? You're the one that's talking on mute.
Asim, you brought on yourself. Asim, sorry.
It's both
No,
of you.
it's not. It's not. Come on. But anyway, I'm gonna go with Sarib. I know how Gene felt like after the game. Sarib, how are you?
No, I'm ill. I'm not well. But Liverpool didn't make me feel
Liverpool did Liverpool make you ill?
No, but they didn't make me feel any better. And normally that happens because we win every week. But today, again, another big game, another game we didn't win. It's been this kind of story of our season, these big matches this season.
Yeah, we can't say it's another game that we haven't won. It's only the third loss, Salim. And one of the games we should have got a result against Spurs, we were robbed. Arsenal game, fair enough in the league, but you can't just say it's another game. You're talking as if we've lost like 6-7 on the trot. Or, you know, we've lost quite a few games. It's not another game. It's a bad game that we've lost, yes, but it's not another game.
We have in the big games this season. I don't think we've played particularly well in any of them. Maybe the Tottenham one, but we had a red card.
Didn't you watch the second half last week against City?
No,
but we didn't win, Asim. We didn't win, Asim. It's come to that point now, Asim. I'm not being rude, but it's come to that point now. Yeah, we played well. We played them off the park, but we didn't win.
No, but correct me if I'm wrong.
2 games in a week now. 2 games in a week. We should have won one out of the two. There's no excuses now, boys. You don't want to become needy men. You don't want to become needy men. Just remember that. We've done that in 2022.
Look, shut up for a second. It's been 3 minutes and you said a million things. And half of them don't even make sense. Going back to Sarib, let me just ask you and confirm what you said. Yeah. Did you say we haven't played in the games that we won? Or did you say in the big games we haven't played well in general?
In general, in the big games, Liverpool haven't performed and we haven't got a result.
We haven't performed last week then?
For one half, Asim. For one half, even if that was not even one half, it was one half we performed well, and we still went 1-0 down at half time. You look at the opening day of the season, we didn't win that game. You look at away at Arsenal, they absolutely ripped us apart. Away at Tottenham, although we were robbed, we lost. Chelsea's probably the only one. Even Newcastle away, we won there. We were absolutely shit in the 90 minutes of the whole game. We were shit.
Yeah, we were down to 10 men though after about 20 minutes.
Man City away again, another game that we should have not won. We
got robbed at Tottenham.
That's what I said. That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying to you is true. Generally, if you look at the big matches that we played this season, and Old Trafford's another one, we go to these away grounds and we can't win, and it's just the reality. Even at home, we should have beaten Arsenal, we didn't win. Should have beaten United, we didn't beat them. Should have beaten City, we didn't beat them. So I'm just telling you how I feel, and that's how I feel. We need to step up in these bigger games because these are the games that matter, and these are games that are going to win you the trophies.
But my point is, Gene, is we did enough to win in these games. We did enough at Anfield against Arsenal. We did enough against City. Yes, we should be taking our chances. I agree with that. But to say we didn't play well in general, I think that's wrong.
Look, in the big games, Asim, if we're looking at our record, if any side going for a title, you'd probably expect a bit more from a side challenging for the title. But what I will say is, if you look at Man City's record against the top six, the top 4 to 5 this season, it's not been amazing. They've beaten Man United home and away. That's about it. They didn't beat us. They haven't beaten Arsenal. I know they've got the second game to come. I'm sure they didn't beat Spurs. So it's not like they've exactly been absolutely amazing in the big games as well. The only side they've beaten is Man United. But look, I understand to an extent. I understand both points where Sarib's making. Look, he expects more from our side in terms of results. But I get Asim's side because Asim's point because we generally should have been against Man City. We did well against Spurs away. We were in control until we went down to 10. United and Arsenal at home were 2 games we should have won. We did have the chances to win, but we didn't. We just didn't get over the line. But back onto today's game, Asim, I think that's where these guys.
Were you happy with the lineup, Gene?
Guys, just 1 minute. Gene, sorry, there's a few asking about your little one. Just if you just want to clarify that everything is okay.
Yeah, look, I was going to look. He's perfectly fine, alhamdulillah, man. He had a bit of a fall yesterday. That's why I had to quickly run off. But he's got my blood in him, so I'm sure he was up within 10-15 minutes running around, so he's all good, nothing to worry about. But thanks for everybody's messages and all that type of stuff. I do appreciate that.
No, he's done it again, Asim. He's done it again.
And it's a nice hat as well. But carry on, Gene.
Yeah, but look, in terms of the actual game itself today, you mentioned the lineup. Look, I was happy with the lineup. I thought that they would be the players that would start. Except yesterday I called it that Robbo would start, but Bradley would start over Gomez, and he didn't. But all in all, can you complain with that lineup? Definitely not. It was a side that was good enough to go to Old Trafford and win comfortably, and that's what we thought would happen. Yes, it was going to be a difficult game. Yes, yeah, we can sit here and say that it was going to be a 3-0, all that type of stuff. But deep down, most of us knew it's still Old Trafford. It's still a place that we've only won a few times over the years, and it's form does go out the window when these two sides played against each other. We've seen that over the last 20 years, that when Man United were at their peak, you took only a few winners from Danny Murphy for us to get our winners at that place, and it took us it's a difficult place, but we were good enough to beat them at times when we were not at the best. So it's vice versa. They managed to beat us last season at Old Trafford, but lineup wise, Asim, you can't really complain. I think what struck me was the start to the game, and I want to come to you and Avi to this. How did you guys feel how we started? What did you think? Because I felt it, especially in the first 25 minutes, Asim, we were just not at the races. It felt as though we were losing all our 50-50s. It felt as though we were losing every single second ball. I'm not going to say, look, that we weren't at the races. No, I just felt as though that it just wasn't clicking in the first half an hour. What are your thoughts, guys?
Avi, do you want to go?
Yeah, obviously watching it from the TV to the stands is a bit different. Listen, they started off well, like they were going to. They always were going to be a little bit aggressive, pressing well. But after 20-25 minutes, McTominay, he was huffing and puffing. Young Kobe Mainu, who was very impressive today. I know, Gene, you tweeted it earlier. He's an absolute gem on their team. And they get their goal. And they fully deserved it. They fully deserved to score another one as well. They had another great chance as well, which Rashford just sort of wide. Story of his game, really. He had about 3-4 of those very late on as well in the game. Started off well, and then we started getting a bit of control. We started getting a bit of control. McAllister, Endo, they looked out of sorts in that first 15-20s. Szoboszlai was trying to find himself. I know he had a bit of game time against Sparta Prague. The front three were okay. Diaz was probing. Salah was on the peripheral. Nunes was dropping back, trying to win some headers against the likes of Varane and Lindelof. Robertson was poor. Robertson today, I thought overall, like that first sort of 15-20, he wasn't showing himself very well. Centre backs were fine. The selection was fine, Asim. I thought it was the right selection. I thought maybe, saying it in hindsight now, I thought Gakpo probably could have got the nod instead of Nunes. and then Nunes brought on for the last sort of 25, 30. But no, you went with Nunes. And then they get the goal, and then luckily we get that deflected goal, and then it eases back to us, isn't it? Then we start gaining control, and at times it was a school, so it was like an education for United. Passing short, keeping the ball, creating chances, but we were just looking for that killer instinct. When we go 2-1 up, you're looking for that third goal, and it doesn't come. And then Old Trafford with their fans, Stratford End, whatever you want to call it these days. They were roaring their team on, and he had the support today. Ten Hag, he hasn't had that all season, but it felt as if he had that support. And again, against Liverpool, they made it ugly, and we played to them. Asim, that's where we went wrong. We played to their strengths, not to ours.
But Asim, look, we have to look. One thing I want to ask you is in terms of tactically, in terms of the first half. I think me and you were discussing that Dom felt as though he just wasn't in the game. I thought Menu and Asim, you're on mute. I thought Menu and these guys doing a proper job on us in the first half in terms of their intricate passing was brilliant. I was actually really, really impressed with the way, especially around the box, the way they were playing, especially on our right hand side. There was an overload all the time. That even though it was just Wan-Bissaka, he was good enough to go down the line and he was creating the overlap. So in terms of the first half, where did we go wrong in terms of the first half?
I thought the way we set up our team, Gene, is we thought United are going to come and park the bus and we're going to have the ball on the halfway line. But they surprised us, and you have to hold your hands up and say, you know what, Eric Ten Hag, even though it was, I don't want to call it a free hit because, it's probably a bigger game for them than us because we already got our trophy in the bank. And we were going for all the trophies before this game. But you have to understand that these guys they went man to man with us for this first 20, 25 minutes. They surprised us and they were aggressive in their press and they forced us long. And you're saying Szoboszlai couldn't get on the ball is because what we did to De Bruyne after the first 10, 15 minutes at Anfield, they did to us from the first minute or so. And they starved our ball players of possession. And like I say, they forced us long. And I pointed out to you on and off the ball, they were really good. They were splitting their centre backs and making Dalot, who started right back, going into swapping positions with their right centre back and playing. The amount of times Onana just gave it down the middle and they just turned, the attack. It was so easy. It took us about 10, 15 minutes to sort that out. And then we got our footballers on the ball. But I think for the last 6 or 7 weeks since Trent has been missing, our main outlet, our main asset going forward, that guy who provides the width, who provides the ping for Kwanzaa and Van Dijk on both sides, is Conor Bradley. And I thought that is working. For the first 60, 70 minutes, you go with Bradley. We had a little theme going on. He gets 60, and then we swap with Robertson. And on the big pitch, Robertson struggled to go up and down. We've been talking about the dynamic nature of Robertson over the last 5, 6 years since he's come at Liverpool, up and down, pressing, high intensity. But that's not Andy Robertson. Maybe he gets that back. I don't know. He's been off for about 2-3 months, before he came back. When was the last time he's been off for 2-3 months? But there is a question mark on Andy Robertson's intensity and quality as well at the moment. But I think you have to agree with, you have to give them, their due and say, look, they got it right. They were brave on and off the ball. And we also expected Dalot to play left back and Wan-Bissaka to play his normal right back.
A proper change. I wasn't expecting that at all.
And that, even though we thought, Wan-Bissaka has been a bit more, is a really good 1v1 defender. He's going to contain Salah. But he was going, like you say, he was going up and down. They weren't giving the ball to him a lot, especially after 5-10 minutes. But he was occupying, our right back. And like you say, there was overloads and he was forcing Salah back. And when you force Salah back, then when we do, with still I know Man United played, generally speaking, on the counter attack today, but we're still the best team in transition. But today was mental fatigue for me. Mental sharpness wasn't there, and it lacked us in the big moments. In the big moments where you need that mental sharpness, the decision making wasn't good enough.
Look, and another thing that I wanted to come on to Asim was, especially in the first half, like I felt as though, obviously watching from the stands, that we just weren't. Every single second ball, they were the first ones to it. Every single 50-50, they were there. And coming to you, Sarib, look, and Asim mentioned it, I was really, really impressed with Kobe Mainu. The amount of times he actually bypassed our midfield, that was the thing that struck me more than anything, because he was good enough to say, okay, I'm good enough, I can get past you. He was actually showing that type of brilliance in the game. Look, I hate Manchester United, but you've got to give your hats off to that lad, especially in the first 45 minutes, because I thought he was fantastic in every single facet of his play. There was times when I even mentioned to Asim that even he received the ball from the goalkeeper and he was good enough and brave enough to pop it off with the ball going forward. It was just really, really struck me how well Sarib, how well he played, especially in the first half.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But he is a good player, Kobe Miner. But we made it a lot easier for him to play the way he was playing. That's not discrediting the player, because you can clearly see he's a player of quality. The way he was bypassing a midfield, I think someone put a comment up saying the way they were bypassing Endo was really, really good. And United had a game plan they executed really, really well. And I think they won the midfield battle today, especially in that first 20 minutes. And they gave the Kobe Miner the freedom to roam from midfield into the attack to link up the play together. It's very different to what he normally does, but it was working really, really well. And I'm not going to make an excuse, but you can clearly see that Endos, McAllister, Szoboszlai have not played like as a starting unit, played many games together this season. I think Newcastle away was one, and I think Man City was last week was another one. I think there's another one somewhere, but they haven't played much football together. That's not excusing the fact they shouldn't be playing well, but first 20 minutes they were an absolute joke. They would get a run through by McTominay and Kobe Mino. And like again, someone said they were bypassing Endo. I think a contributing factor to that, Chin, was maybe the game on Thursday, because a lot of the players that played on Thursday also started today. Endo, Szoboszlai. No, I don't know if Szoboszlai started, but Gomez again, another one who I thought was
He did start.
Yeah, there you go. And I don't want to put this on Klopp, but I think even when the lineup came on Thursday, I said there's too many strong players. If we're trying to play a strong team at Old Trafford, there's too many of the star boys in the team today. Salah was another one. I don't know why he started on Thursday, but
he had to start. Salah, I can understand, because Salah needed the minutes.
He played 90.
He's been fine. I can understand.
He played 90 on Thursday.
He did admit that he was going to take Salah off if it wasn't for Bobby Clark's injury.
Then maybe you don't start Salah today, then, if that was the case, because
he wasn't great today. He wasn't great today. No, that's a fair point.
He wasn't started instead of.
We have to manage players. Like,
you would have started Gakpo. That's the problem.
But if you don't start Salah, who would you start on the right
I'd
side?
probably start Elliot on the right. If Salah.
I think in the last two games, Asim, I think we have mismanaged the selection in terms of our first 11. I mean, today I think it was a game one too many for Endo. You got to remember, he came straight away from the Asia Cup and thrown into the thrust of it. He's been starting the last 5-6 games since he's been back. Salah today, look, he was going to obviously start against Sparta Prague, get those legs working again. Scores on Thursday. Albeit he scored today. He wasn't fit, but look, he done what he had to. He played 70 minutes today before he was brought off. It's a tough one, Asim, to stomach, because we knew the game was there to be won. We had the chances to win at 2-1. We didn't capitalize them. We didn't take that chance. It was a timid effort in terms of we had the possession. What was it? Too much arrogance? Was it too much ego? Was it that we were just comfortable? We didn't think that Anthony or Garnacho were going to trouble us, or Rashford had these chances prior to the last 5 minutes of normal time. Like, explain to me how we just lose that sort of invincibility. That's what it's been this season. I mean, we've only lost to Arsenal away in the league and Spurs away. Like, apart from that, we've been flawless. We've been near flawless. Okay, the draws, fair enough, but we've played well. But today is a real sickener because it's Manchester United, and because listen, these players are going for this unprecedented quad, and now that talk will be shut down completely now, and that's a good thing. The quadruple will shut down, but you don't want this to be a sort of pattern now, because we have scraped through games. At Luton we went 1-0 down. We were the first to concede. Last week we conceded first. We've conceded first again today. Those little traits from last season are starting to creep into this season, and we're conceding goals now as well.
But is this just to sort of add on your point? Is this a concern for you then? And in terms of Klopp giving minutes to his players, Klopp obviously he favors rhythm over minutes. Obviously, if he's really in the red zone, that decision goes out of his hands. But
Yeah,
yeah.
man. See, the day he started, it all went.
I'll think
Next
I'll think of a new name. I'll think of a new name. But Avi, going back to Thursday night, even Van Dijk, for example, it's about 21 to us or 22 on aggregate, whatever it was. Why is even Verge coming onto the field? He should be wrapped in a big jacket, in cotton wool, ready for Sunday. And I'm not saying Van Dijk's probably one of our best players today, but it's still, why are we taking the risk?
It could have been the captain said that I want 10, 15 minutes run out. It could have been that he
Is
said.
that how we decide who plays or not?
Well, no. If
If you touch him on the
you're
back,
going off
can
what
I
the
play
coach
10
is,
minutes?
it's by the data, isn't it? That this team, that this player needs to come off, like a Kwanzaa needs to come off, or a Gomez needs to come off, and Van Dijk go and have 20. Now we go off by that data, isn't it? Of like that little sort of energy sort of bar of how many minutes these players can play each game. And look, at the end of the day, Asim, look, we have got a limited squad. And it brings me back to the frustrations of the likes of Jota. Yes, he's got a great goal scoring record this season, but these nitty gritty games, these last quarter, this final stretch, these players need to be available. So when I say to you, yeah, look, I would entertain a 60, 70 million pound offer, it's because I want players of that ilk coming into this club who are available from February till May, who can see us through. Last week, Gina, let me finish. And I'll ask this question. Does Jota does he not affect a game last week and today? Would he not have been effective in both these games?
100% he would.
There you go.
Question.
Curtis Jones would have been effective in the last two games. Curtis Jones.
Come to the party.
Thiago would have been effective.
Thiago's a long gunner. Forget about him. We all know that. Why bring him?
He's still a squad player, isn't he?
Speaking about Diego Jota, the injury that he got, the guy that fell on Jota's knee at that time, yeah, he falls on anybody's knee. That's going to happen to him.
Yes, Gina. Okay.
That type of
yes, impact, yes, but it's a recurring theme with him. It's a recurring theme with him.
You can't. There's nothing you can do about it. He was playing brilliantly before that. Did we miss him? Of course we missed him. He's a brilliant player, and 90% of the time, if he had the chances that we had today, he would have probably put one or two of them away. Right? Fair play. In the instances, I get that. But just to single him out and say, Diego Jota, I've got.
I'm saying frustrating. No. I said it's frustrating. Hold on.
No control about holding him from the start.
Gonna keep letting bark. Listen, all I said is frustrating when you haven't got a player like that for the last 3-4 years being available for the final stretch of the season. A Jota affects last week. A Thiago, okay, you said forget Thiago. No, I'm not going to forget Thiago. We cannot forget Thiago because Asim, Thiago's earning 230,000 a week. Stop 1 minute, Gene. He's earning 230,000 a week. He was the kind of player who came in at 29 from Bayern Munich, from winning the treble, who would close out these games. The last 25 minutes, you bring on Thiago to control the tempo, to be that ball controlling midfield in the center of the park, who's pings it left and right, just controls the last few minutes, puts in a little sneaky foul and picks up a yellow card. These are the days that you want a Thiago. 21-22 season, that was exactly why we brought Thiago. The last final year, it was unfortunate. It was unfortunate, Sarib, that Thiago did get that injury prior to the Champions League final. Otherwise, you have a player like Thiago's ilk. This is why it's frustrating when I say to you, Jota, Thiago, Curtis Jones even. He would have been effective in the last 2 games.
Cool. Let's bring Sadio Mane back because he scored 19 goals.
No, we're talking about players who are currently in the squad. Look, idiot.
He's not played 90 minutes for how long? How long has he not played 90 minutes in? Tell me how.
Who hasn't?
Thiago. When is the last time Thiago played 90 minutes of a football?
I'm telling you, you're not understanding the context of it. The whole context of things, or why I said Thiago. Because you're paying him 230,000 a week. We could have got rid of Thiago last summer and brought someone in who would have been far more effective than what we've had from Thiago this season.
Why we sat here having a conversation about Thiago is just baffling. Guys, we need to put some...
Because it's games like this. It's games like this.
It's FA Cup game.
Games like this.
FA Cup game. Yes, it hurts.
It's an FA Cup game. You were shouting quadruple last week, so don't say you can't say it's just an FA Cup game. You can't say it's an FA Cup. No, Asim, you cannot say it's an FA Cup game when you've been shouting quadruple all season. When you've been shouting quadruple all season, you can't say just an FA Cup game.
It is though. It's Man United. Yes, it hurts. Don't get me wrong. But with all due respect, Asim, with all due respect, it's an FA Cup game. It hurts. The manner of the loss hurts, of course. The side that we play.
We shouldn't criticize. We shouldn't criticize. Okay, end the show then. We shouldn't criticize the team.
Not about criticizing.
Gene, listen to me.
Okay, we're gonna do a mad one, Avi.
Gene, what Avi's saying is the likes of Jota who can impact games. If Jota is available today, then Cody Gakpo doesn't come on today. He might have come on in the 85th minute, not in the
he's injured,
60th
isn't he?
minute
I
when
said,
we
what do
came
you
on.
want me? What do you want the man to do? The man's injured. He has a 6'4" guy fall on his knee, injured. That's it. Well, nothing you can do about it. End of. So why would you put Diego Jota into an equation when
Asim,
it's
for
got
us
nothing
not
to
to
do with the
be
fact that we actually didn't play well today? We actually went at the races today in terms of, you know what, I felt as though we took it too easy. But yet still, with all due respect, you mentioned
That's a big
we
allegation.
didn't get outplayed us him. We outplayed for at least 60 minutes of that game. We were the better side. We
where
should have
did it get us?
And
Where
what
did
did
it
he
get
do?
us?
Well,
What did we do?
second half, we
Where did it
completely
get us?
outplayed
It
them.
was
We
up
should have
there
scored a few more. We just weren't clinical enough in the final third.
didn't,
Our decision making in the final third wasn't good enough. Yes, if you come out with that, I can accept it. But to come on here and start saying that Diego Jota played and we should have scored more goals, guys, come on, man. We made mistakes.
He doesn't get out. He doesn't get out.
Come on, man.
Actually, that's what I was trying to say is that if Diogo Jota was on the pitch, his decision making would have been a lot better, and then the chances that we got, Jota would have most likely.
Gene thinks that he's
Nine
been
times
fit
out
for
of
the
10,
last 3 years. Gene thinks he's been fit for
players
the
that are on
last
the
3 years.
pitch generally, the decision making is pretty good. We do make it isn't as bad as it was today. We were on 5-on-2 today and we made the wrong decisions. Fair, I can understand. But look, perspective, man.
But
Yeah, okay. Asim, he said a great word there, perspective. Yeah, I don't want Jurgen Klopp's tenure. I don't want his tenure to be here for the last 9 years, 8 years, whatever you want to call it, to be only be speaking about one league title and one Champions League. And yes, there's other facets. The owners could have spent more this and that.
Maybe
But I do not want to be talking about
maybe
one
I
league
didn't.
title and one European Cup, only 2 majors in the last 8-9 years. So there needs to be decisions made on big players at this club who just don't give us the availability, quality when they're on it. But very few and far between do we ever get that chance.
Honestly, you're talking about availability and all this type of stuff. 2 years ago, we nearly did the quad, and the issue was.
But we didn't. We did it on basis on what?
Are you going to let me finish?
We played a crop Thiago in the final, brought him off, and who did we bring on?
I don't care about
Naby Keita.
I'm actually glad in a way. I'm actually glad it's gone because 2 years ago we went for the quad, we went for every single trophy, and we lost. Like you mentioned, we lost the Champions League final and we lost the league title. So if this is gone, relax, it's gone, man. So what? We've got bigger fish to fry, and we have the league. That's what.
Don't say that because every Liverpool fan, I don't know if it's YouTube specifically, but Asim's been saying the whole season we're going to do a hashtag a mad one. We're going to do a mad one. We're going to go to these teams. We're going to win everything. Everything's in our power to win everything. And I always said you have to stay calm. We take it game by game. We're playing one of some of the best teams in the league. We can lose to these games. I was seeing on Twitter we're gonna go Old Trafford. We're gonna roll them over 4-0. We're gonna win 5-1. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. That's what we get. It's all well and good saying we performed. If you don't get the results, what the hell is the point? And this is what I don't like. Oh yeah, we good. We're so good. We performed for one half against the treble winners. What did I get us? 1 point. We're not top of the league anymore. Oh yeah,
we're ahead of us. Are
What?
they the team that you're talking about ahead of us?
Are we first? We were first though. Are we first?
We win all our games. We win
The league matters, and we're not first. Of course,
honestly,
it matters.
I'm a bit. You need to calm. You know what I don't like is we just want to have a go at the team. Just chill out.
I'm not having a go at a team.
No one's having a go. It's frustrating though.
Bigger
Games
fish.
like this are frustrating.
You're going for that players. You're bringing Jota into the equation.
Okay, Gene, but there's context behind that because he would.
I'll give you, Avi, I'll give you context. You can't say, look, Jota should be playing. I get what you're saying. You're frustrated when our sort of big players are out, just like we were frustrated when Salah was out, even though that's a rare occasion. But doesn't the manager need to take a bit of responsibility for that?
Of course.
In terms of, let me finish, in terms of his style of play. Because I know he was unlucky, Jota, but how many times has he gone? How do you take the Diogo Jota out of Diego Jota? How do you take the Lucho Diaz out of Diaz? How do you take Darwin out of Darwin? These are all a production of the Jurgen Klopp style. The possession-based team, even though we're transitioning to that, they don't make those tackles. They don't get into those positions. So you want this full throttle sort of style, which I absolutely love and adore and watch every week in, week out. I prefer our style any day of the week than Arsenal and Manchester City. But you have to take risks in playing that style of football where you have to put these guys in those positions where they might pick up a few injuries. And this is the result of that style of play. You have to expect it and accept it.
It's not for you though, is it? When injuries are affecting your title race, your major competitions, right? When it's affecting you week in and week out, like it has this season, and we've managed it, kudos to the team. I'm not here to berate the team, Gene, but I'm saying that 2 games in the space of a week, a Manchester City, slick opportunity. We played well second half. I'm with Sarib here. We played them off the park, but what did we get for it? We didn't get nothing for it.
Happens, doesn't it?
We didn't get it. Happens. It's happening way too often though, year in, year out.
Games.
Okay,
Well, it's sometimes
Gene, it happens too often that at the end of the season, we're holding second place again. It's happening too much. You're saying, yeah, it
Abu,
happens.
listen,
You can't say it happens.
I was the one that always
Arsenal
called
managing the
Martin.
squad well. Arsenal managed the squad well. City have City have got two squads, but they manage it well.
Do they?
This stretch of the season,
And
we need to look at what Klopp's doing in training. We need to look at the whole
managed it so well.
in
One second.
training.
Arsenal have managed it so well that they're level on points with us. Man City have managed it so well that they're point behind us. Okay.
They're also in the Champions League. They're
That's
also
all
in the
I'm
Champions
saying.
League. They're also in the
They
Champions
managed
League.
amazingly well.
You need to
but they're
analyze
still
performance,
point
not
one.
results. If you're looking at
Listen,
results, fair enough.
sometimes
Innit?
we go too hard on our team. We need to understand, yes, it was a bad day at the office, but in a way, I don't really care. It's the FA Cup. I get the frustration in terms of how we lost the game. Don't think I don't. I was there. Trust me. Saw Old Trafford half an hour after the game. Sat there with our tails between our legs, thinking, "What the hell happened? How did we lose that game?" Because I genuinely thought we were going to win that game in the second half. But look, sometimes these things happen in football, Avi. In a way, you should be glad that it happened in the FA Cup and not the league. Because look, you mentioned it earlier. We've only lost 3 games this season, and one of them we shouldn't have lost anyway, right? So look, come on, man. Are we good enough to go after the break? We'll have the likes of Trent and all these players back. We'll be good enough to go again. We're Liverpool Football Club. We are one of the best sides in the world.
I hope so.
I understand. Look, frustration into.
But you're allowed to be critical.
I understand the frustration where.
No, you're allowed to be critical. You're allowed to be critical.
You want to win the title. You don't want to look back at this the last 6-7 years and say, you know what, we only have one league we only had one league. I understand that. I am exactly the same, but we're still in a title race. We've still got enough players. Our squad is still good enough. Today was a bad day at the office.
And we'll move on, but all I want to say is, look, I don't want this Liverpool team, and I certainly don't believe that Klopp deserves for this team just to be the naily men. Yeah? I don't want the daily men. I do not want Arsenal to win the league title. Let me finish. I don't want Arsenal to win the league title and then turning around saying Arteta won the same amount of league titles as Jurgen Klopp. We don't deserve that as fans. Jurgen Klopp doesn't deserve that as a manager either.
If we dropped points today in the league game at Old Trafford and it sort of took us 4 to 6 points behind the league and you had this reaction today, then I'd say it's completely justified. We're still technically top of the league, albeit by goal difference.
Forget the league for 1 minute. We're not talking about the league. We're talking about a cup competition. You just called the Klopp Trooper last week, saying that we're doing a mad run. We're going to win all 4. That's belief. That is belief. Belief.
It's belief.
This is one of the worst. Okay.
If I'm really honest, was it really realistic?
Why wasn't it realistic? We all started believing it. Gene also believed it. You believed it.
Sarib, when I said we're going to do a mad one,
we all want to win everything.
You know what's the funny bit is? You lot think this Manchester United team is good. He's one of the worst Manchester United setups. Not squad. The whole setup is wrong at Manchester United. That's why they brought I think couldn't muster up a result. They drew against us at Anfield. Points dropped there as well. Yadrak, no, we dropped points against them at Anfield.
Abi, short for the second, man. I've been letting you go all flipping for half an hour. You just don't know where to stop. Danny sums it up perfectly. And this is for you and Sarib. Boys, take it from a United fan. This is one of the most level-headed United fans I know. Is a free.
They got to draw against us at Anfield.
For fuck's sake, can I read his comment out?
They took points off.
Can I read his comment out?
No, you can't.
Yeah, all right, go off the stream then. Boys, take it from the street. I'm a United fan. This was a freak result. You have nothing to worry about. Apart from the first 30 minutes, you control the game. League fixture will be back to normal. 5-0 will let us enjoy tonight. Maybe, Danny, you can put another message up to this, Avi and Sarib. That it's a complete meltdown from you guys.
The only reason you agree with
we controlled the game at Anfield as well against United. And what did we get for our troubles?
We had 36
That's bullshit. I'm sorry. It's a bullshit comment. I'm sorry.
The only reason Asim's agreeing with it because that's his opinion as well. We've got a Man United fan saying, Liverpool's going to smash us. Of course, that's what you want to hear. Of course, that's what you're going to agree.
Why don't you find a comment?
Sarib, we controlled games. Sarib, we controlled games. We controlled second half against City. We controlled games today. We controlled United at Anfield. What did we get for our troubles? Controlling games. What we got in our troubles?
Anyway.
The overreaction from these two today is...
Overreaction. I've been saying the whole season.
I want my team to be winning everything, yeah? Bill Shankly said first is everything, second is nothing. You don't get anything for second. You don't get a medal. You don't get a new topi like you're wearing one today.
All right. Okay. Why were you defending, or where was this energy against Lucio Diaz last week when he played unbelievably well? We missed 3 sitters. Where was this energy last week?
I admitted it. last week.
Huh?
I was
Where was
harsh
this
on him.
energy last week
I was
in the league
harsh on
game?
him.
Where was it?
Shanti, bhai, it's
Come
Ramadan.
on, tell
Please
me.
control yourself.
Now it's
Control yourself.
Ramadan. Now
There
it's
you go.
Control
Ramadan.
yourself.
Behind
Control
the
yourself.
black
You
ball
too.
you are now. You're snookered.
I was
You're snookered. I can tell you from your face. Where was this passion and energy last week
I
against
was
Diaz?
very critical of Diaz. It was controlled. It was controlled criticism towards Diaz. Yes.
Oh,
last week.
controlled. And
was
you acted like
controlled.
a stupid man tonight.
It was a mature. It was a
In the
mature
FA
Abby
Cup.
last week. It was a mature one. Listen,
There you
guys.
go.
Look, I'm sorry.
We'll
Yeah,
move
but
on.
okay.
We'll move on.
No, in a nutshell, I hate Manchester United, like we all do, right? But today, against a weak Manchester United team, weak as piss, we should not be going there and losing leads twice. We shouldn't be. That's all I'm gonna say. Gina, you say, okay, we got bigger fish to fry. I agree with that. But Yadrak, Putter, if we don't win the league, you're getting it.
Avi, let me
we make
caveat
mistakes.
everything. Let me caveat everything that I agree with you that Liverpool should be going away to Man United, this shit Man United team. After 20, 30, 35 minutes, we all agree that we control the game. Just like Danny said, we were the better team. I don't want to use the word complacent, but it was definitely too easy at a certain stage for Liverpool. But when you're really on top, when you're dominating a game, you have to take advantage and you have to kill this Man United team. Albeit this Man United, this shite Man United team does have players, especially on the counter-attack, that can hurt you. Just like, sort of Garnacho and Rashford, as they showed today. But if you don't kill the game at this level, even against this Man United team, it can come back and bite you in the ass. We agree with you that Liverpool needed to put the game into bed. We're not trying to defend them here that we played well or we deserved a win. We got what we deserved today. But you can't, to come down and provide a meltdown that's saying this we're going to be nearly men and this and that. We have to provide context at the moment.
2022, we wanted the two big ones. We ended up with the two domestic ones. Nearly men. It's nearly men. That's called nearly men.
Okay.
When you lose out on the last day of the season and the Champions League final, which we should have beaten Real Madrid, let's not make two mistakes about it. That was a nearly men season, yeah? Nearly men. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. It's been happening too.
Abby, 1 second. I say 1 second. One of the main reasons behind that, and this has been, come on, you've said it yourself, Abby, was that
too many games.
So now we've lost.
I actually blame.
1 second. Let me finish. Now we've lost an FA Cup game. That's one less game that we're going to play. Doesn't that feed into the narrative that, you know what, it's actually good for us, that, you know what, we'll have a better shot at winning the title? Isn't that a good thing then? Because that was your problem with our squad 2 years ago. You blamed, 1 second, I was on the stream, you blamed the Liverpool in terms of the amount of games we played. We've lost a game. We're still going for the title. Why are you turning around now and saying we're going to lose the title? Because we lost this game. But the reason 2 years ago was because we played too many games. Doesn't make sense.
Hindsight.
I mean, you're treating
and
this
I hope 1 minute, man. You're going to ask me a question, Gene, and you don't bite. I don't know why you're butting in. No, don't smile either. Gene, look, all I will say is, I hope in hindsight that you're right. I had the door down. I hope that we win the league. I don't want to come second again, and I don't want to
win the league. You want to win the league more than anything. That's why, Avi, I don't. Yes, today hurt because it was Man United, because of the performance, because of the way we lost the game.
Billy Junior, it's only checkmate if we win. If we win the league, isn't it? Then it's checkmate. But at the end of the day, you don't want to lose to Manchester United. Billy, if you're happy with losing to Manchester United, fair enough. But I wasn't. And you say it's only a game. I would have been happy losing to Coventry, Leicester City, Chelsea, or Man City even today. But not to Manchester United. There's two things here, guys, of who we're losing to. We've given them something to hang on to now for the rest of the season. We've given United something to hang on to for the rest of the season, especially April 7th. They'll be up for that game at Old Trafford. And if we don't win, Cholo, we'll do a show. Me and you, team, we'll do a show April 7th if we don't fucking win.
And what if we do? Don't turn up.
No, I'll turn up. Me and you will do a show. Then you have Michael Tinney. That's it. Fair enough.
No, just don't turn up. You know, honestly, you do, Avi.
Let's move on. Let's move on. I'll tell you why we're going to move on, because I want to move on. I want to, Asim, am I allowed to move on?
Yeah, of course you are.
This kalank of a guy, what's his name? Hey, head up. Stop being on your phone. What are you going on your phone for?
I'm looking at
You don't need to look at stats. We're not looking at the game anymore. Cody Gakpo, Asim, Gene, Cody Gakpo. I want to talk about Cody Gakpo, yeah? This little kid, I was about to say shit, this kid has been going on about Cody Gakpo. Oh, Luis Diaz, can't do this. Play Gakpo on the left. I want you to describe to me what he fucking pulled out today. That last 25 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it was, what was that shit show? That baguette. What did he do in the last 15, 20 minutes today of that game?
Okay. First of all, if you want to ask me a question, you ask me the question with a bit of respect. Second of all, you keep saying this. Everyone every week saying, "Oh, Gakpo this, Gakpo that, Gakpo this, Gakpo that, Gakpo this, Gakpo that." So when Cody Gakpo comes on the pitch, now I'm not going to defend this performance, right? But I'm going to give you some context. When Cody Gakpo came on the pitch, what position did Klopp play him in? Tell me.
Right wing,
Okay. What position did he play on Thursday?
left wing,
Right. What position did he play on the opening day of the season?
right side of midfield.
What position did he play in the Carabao Cup final?
Played up top.
9.
Do you see the theme here now? Do you see the theme? Do you see the theme here? So
What team is there? He fucking showed nothing today.
Okay.
He scored 2 on Thursday. No, not chill out, Gene, right? He scored 2 on Thursday. What? He didn't show himself up for anything today. What did he do today? Weak as piss again. For the last 4 or 5 weeks, he's produced one performance against a Mickey Mouse minnow team, which is Sparta Prague. No disrespect, but it's the truth. He performed on Thursday. He's been missing for the last 5 weeks. And you've defended him. You've defended him, said, "Oh, Diaz ain't good enough. Look at Diaz's stats. He ain't good enough." Diaz gives us twice more than what your fucking boy does, your Dutch boy.
That's not what I said. I didn't say Diaz is not good enough. That's not what I said. That is absolutely not what I said. All I've said to you is that I want to see Gakpo play as a left winger. So, and he finally played as a left winger on Thursday, and he gave us 2 goals.
Would you have taken Diaz off today then?
I mean, what did Diaz do in the game?
He was our best forward today.
What did he do?
He was our best forward today. He was our best forward today.
You have just spent half an hour.
Let's go to the comments. Okay, let's go to the comments. Would we have took Diaz off for Gakpo today?
I haven't finished.
In the comments, please. In the comments, please.
I haven't finished.
Honestly,
You have spent half an hour berating. You have spent half an hour. You have spent half an hour berating Asim and Chino for saying, "Oh, it's all well and good if you're performing well, not giving results." So Diaz is performing well. What did he contribute today? Did he get a goal or assist? Did he score today? Did he do anything of any notability in the game?
Who set up the second? It was the Nunes chance. The Salah goal. It was.
I don't even remember. My head is lost.
Diaz. Yeah. All of a sudden you've got a bout of dementia.
But what did he do in the game? Let me ask you a question. What did he do in the game? You make this Luis Diaz versus Cody Gakpo. I'm not Luis Diaz versus Cody Gakpo. You make it like this. I'm going to defend the player I like. You're going to defend the player you like. You make me feel like
just keep reading the comments as well.
Again, people are saying Luis Diaz was nothing. He was shit this game. That's fine. I'm not defending Cody Gakpo because when he came on, his touch was off. His touch was this. His touch was that. But I've always said, let him play as a left winger. That's what I've said. I've said nothing else. I've not defended him.
On what basis do you start him ahead of Gakpo? Gene, would you have started him ahead of Diaz today?
Avi, look, I in terms of the game, I'm not gonna. After today's game, it's difficult for me to pinpoint that loss on Cody Gakpo.
That's what I'm saying.
1 second, and the reason why and there's a reason why, because with all due respect to Cody Gakpo, he was not at fault for Darwin Núñez's pass for Rashford's goal. He wasn't at fault for Elliott's mistake or whatever it was for.
He's meant to influence the game in a positive way, though. Yes or no? Yes or no? Is Gakpo not meant to influence the game in a positive light?
And then does one, and then puts in, right? So you can't blame the loss on Cody Gakpo. What I thought about his performance, I thought it was shite. If I'm honest, I thought he could have done a lot better. The thing that really, really got to me, and Asim was there, sat next to me, and I berated him for this, is the ball went in the air. It's Maguire. The guy didn't even jump for the ball. You don't understand how angry I got. I was fasting as well, so I couldn't really go all out with him. The guy didn't even jump for the header. That's what got to me more than anything with Cody Gakpo. And another thing is, Yard, why does it take you 3 hours to shoot? Just pull the trigger, man. I'm sat here and you guys always say to me, he's the best. He's got the cleanest strike. He's got this. Yard, just hit the ball, man. If you've got a chance to have a goal, why does it take you 3 hours to hit the ball? And yeah, there's people have mentioned the 5-on-2 and the 2-on-1. Some of his play today just didn't make sense. Not just Cody Gakpo's. I just felt as though in the final third, our forward players, the final ball just wasn't there. I felt we were being a bit greedy.
My God, the 5-on-2 and Gakpo's layoff to Elliott. My God.
I'm speaking.
May God forgive you, Sarib, not Gakpo. May God forgive you.
This is what I'm speaking about. The 5-on-2 was. You have to do better. You can't. Them guys on the counter hit us and scored. You're 5-on-2. You have to do better. You have to be able to produce. And to Cody Gakpo is one player that generally last season he always made the right decision. But I don't know what's happened to this guy, man. He just seems to he's not be at the races. Yes, Sarib will have the argument that he's played in different positions. Look, Sarib. Let's face it, mate. The
Weak
truth
argument.
He's
in my-
played in 6
No, no,
positions and
no,
he's
no.
excelled at nothing. He's excelled at none.
I'm not defending him, though.
Sarib,
I'm not
face the
defending-
music here,
I'm
right?
not defending him, though. That's what I'm saying. I'm not defending
Yeah,
him.
if
He wasn't
you
there.
defend, in terms of your defense, you always say he plays on the left hand side. The truth is, 90% wherever he's played, he's been below par this season.
But he literally played on left on Thursday and he scored 2 goals. So,
Yeah, I'd score 2 goals on Thursday against that team. So please, let's not bring in a Thursday team. My little boy would score goals against that team. We beat him 11 points.
That is
Please,
not,
chill out, bro.
that is not the
2
point.
goals.
That's not the
Relax,
point.
man.
That is not the
You
point.
say I call a spade a
Point.
spade. You're not
Mean.
calling a spade now, are you?
Gee, that's not a point. That's not the point, though. You can only score and play what's in front of you. When you get put in the team, you have to take your chances.
Do more than
And he
your-
played as a left winger. That's all I've been saying. Play him as a left winger, and he will score. And he scored 2 goals. You don't give me all this bullshit about this guy can score, that guy can score. You can only perform against the opposition that you're playing against. That's the reality. And if you're scoring against opposition that you're playing against, you clearly should have a.
You're always bringing that game up. Give me
Because
another
that's the game he played. That's the game he played. And he scored 2 goals. It's not hard to understand.
You know the
It's
game
not,
he played
it's not complex to
well in.
understand.
Game he played well in, properly well and scored goals gone. A proper game, not a 2
What are you saying? He played as a left winger. He played as a left winger. In the game he played as a left winger for the first time this season, he goes and scores 2 goals.
He's only played left winger once
He's
this
silly or
season.
something.
He didn't play as left wing for the first time this season, sorry.
He played against
played
Burnley.
left wing.
Burnley as well. He got the assist for Nunes.
And a
You got assist in that game as well.
few of the games as well.
You're
You're gonna say, "Oh,
I'm
look at
taking
him."
I'm taking a break now.
You only play against teams that you are put out against, and he got put out in his correct position. That's what I think anyway. And he's gone and scored 2 goals. It's not hard to understand. You play a player in his position, and they will deliver. It's not complex to understand. You play Salah right back. Is he gonna be defending 1-1?
Sarib, you know the problem I have with Cody Gakpo. What you're talking about in terms of him, what you're talking about him being sort of dragged from pillar to post in terms of position. I can to an extent sort of sympathize with that. But I'm with Gene in terms of when we need an impact off the bench. Like Harvey Elliott, whether he's playing in midfield, whether he's playing on right side of midfield, right wing, left wing, you still get the same Harvey Elliott in terms of intensity. When I see Cody Gakpo come off the bench and he needs to impact the game, albeit from the right-hand side, the least I expect is energy. Roll your sleeves up and make an impact through your energy and your effort. And with all due respect, I know he's 5th choice, but I think Cody Gakpo is a wuss. I think he's a wuss. Because the guy, with his stature, his natural physicality, he should be putting himself a lot more than he is at the moment. And that's what we need. This is a Jurgen Klopp side. You're just talking about the energy of Diaz, the energy of Darwin. Why do we connect with Darwin so much, even when he was putting him in Rose Ed? Because he gave us energy. We connected with him. He wore his heart on his sleeve. And that's the least I expect from a player that's playing for a Jurgen Klopp side. And I think if he's not... What is critical for me now is Jota coming back very, very soon. Because I think in terms of minutes, these 3 can't do it alone. Diaz, Nunes and Salah. They'll pick up another injury because the intensity of the games, the business end of the season will be too much. Because I don't have confidence in Cody Gakpo coming off the bench and making an impact. I'm sorry.
But you know what pisses me off? All these people abusing Gakpo. They're abusing. Someone just called him the C word. Like, why are you calling him that? Are you not embarrassed? Get behind your players.
No, that's wrong. That's
you're not
wrong.
embarrassed.
No one's calling him anything. All right, so don't look.
Read the comments.
Sorry, but I told you, you don't need to look at the comments. Let's look. Okay, look, I think we need a little bit of intermission. I'll take control a little bit here with the intermission and the comments. Unknown, yet again with no name, has said, Asim, I said last show we should have had Gakpo start, so we have Nunes to come off the bench and give us an impact number. Could that have benefited Gakpo? Asim, it's a question for you. Could it have been better with maybe Gakpo starting, give him 60-65, then bring on Darwin Nunes?
We're a lot better side with Nunes. I'd rather have Nunes for 60-70 minutes and Gakpo. But, Gakpo just doesn't give enough. That is the problem. I don't mind him coming into midfield and connecting play. But the problem with Cody Gakpo is when you come off the bench, you still need to be a facilitator, especially from the right-hand side. You're not Salah. You don't end the attack for us. You don't. You simply don't. And the guy, I'm glad Jamie Carragher, who's been sat on Monday Night Football and with all these tools and stat sort of websites that is open. He's got he makes use of. That he's called him that Cody Gakpo is a player like he's in slow motion, and that's what it seems. We've been talking about it for months. Carragher just realized now. The guy takes too long to get going, whether he's in midfield or thinking, and he has too much of a tendency just to shoot. He's a clean striker with the ball, but his actual main asset, ironically, Avi, is interplay, his touch and his connection. When he was doing that, when we changed the system, I can remember that game away to West Ham where we were brilliant. He was coming into the pockets on the halfway line. We were making comparisons that this guy's a version of a Bobby. But when he starts getting in his head that I need to score, that's where it goes wrong.
Just a few super chats, guys. Thanks for tuning in. One from Selection. Hope you're well, mate. Common theme under Klopp, but we are a better chasing games opposed to being on level playing field or ahead. We struggled with certain game states or stat. Another one from Rayan. This guy's a very old friend of mine, actually. Rayan Kawaja. I think we blocked each other on Twitter, but hope you're well, brother. Bad day, but too much overreaction because it's against United. We'll come back from this. By the way, didn't we beat Arsenal away? By the way, we only played 2 top 6 sides now. Sarib, you're a little bit anguished. Go on. You want to respond to that?
Avi, can I just get a quick?
No. Why are you asking me? Am I your chacha or something? Go on. You do whatever you want. Sarib, you want to take this?
Respect, isn't it?
Sarib, before you go, 1 second. 1 second before you go, Rayan, an unbelievably good comment. Why? Because I'll tell you why. Before you can go, Sarib. We beat Arsenal in the cup. Now Sarib's going to make it out like it was nothing. We get beat by Man United and all hell breaks loose.
What do you mean? What do you mean? No, wait, Chin, explain. No, explain.
No, explain now. He wants to elaborate.
Oh, it's this, it's that. It's the FA Cup, whatever it is. But then we get beat by Man United. Why are we doing this then?
What do you mean?
Why were you in anguish? Why were you deciding your hands in your eyes?
Look at me a twist.
You see, this is the problem. You don't analyze results, right? You need to look at the performance. The performance in the FA Cup game wasn't good, which is why I was concerned because we were going there. We were going there 3. They played a weekend side too, though.
We literally had half our team missing,
and that's fine. We won that game, we won that game. But I said, all right, relax. We're going there in 3 weeks' time. In my opinion, as an all-round unit, they are better than us, and we clearly saw it. We had injuries. That's absolutely fine. But they took us apart, Gene. They took us apart at the Emirates game.
They played really well on that day.
In the cup game, first half, we got battered. They should have scored 3-4 goals in the first half.
No doubt they should have.
And then in the league game, they took the chance and they beat us. They took us apart in the league game. That's what I'm trying to say to you.
The issue.
I analyze performance, not results.
I don't want to go back to a different show. My issue with you back then was, look, today we were the better team. I'll say you didn't say that we were the better team. We should have won today, and we got beat. Okay, look, we should have been a lot more ruthless. But you can't come on here and have a meltdown then.
I'm pissed off at the result.
You can't come here. But then you see it's a result game then. If you're pissed off at the result, you should have been like, look, you know what? We had a weakened side, but we beat Arsenal. So then have the same energy then.
But we weren't even good in that game. That's what I'm trying to say to you.
It's a result business. But we were decent today in terms of we actually controlled the game and should have won.
If you don't perform well, you're not going to get results, is what I'm trying to say to you.
But we got a result.
But then what happened 2 weeks later?
You can't have it both ways, Sarib. You either talk about results or you talk about performances.
Can I read the... Listen, guys, people have paid some super chats. Let me do the decency thing, okay? Just cool it 1 minute. Rayan Kawaja, again, thanks for the super chat. Diaz was our best player today, but gets slandered. Salah was awful, but was exempt from criticism. We have 2 top 6 sides, and 1 is at home. We'll be okay. Gene, you want to do a quick one on Salah today? He gets the goal, customary now at Old Trafford, isn't it? I didn't think he was too bad. I just thought he was a player that just needed a bit more fitness, but I didn't think he was that bad.
Look, Salah's just literally come back from an injury, and we all know that. He was rushed back, and he still got his goal, and yeah, his output wasn't in terms of what he normally brings to the table. He didn't bring. I didn't think he was anywhere near his best. And to be fair, me and Asim discussing this before the game, we were expecting Salah to play around 60 minutes. But even when he got to 70, I was like, Asim, he's staying on, he stayed on longer. And because we said he was probably 60 to 70%. Yes, he wasn't the best, but he still scored the goal. But in terms of our forward play, Avi, all of them, let's face it, weren't exactly at the races. I actually thought, you mentioned Diaz. Diaz was decent, but I still thought Dalot did a decent job on him. Dalot was.
No, I thought he had Dalot on toast at times.
1 second, I thought Dalot was arguably one of Man United's best players today. From what I saw anyway, I don't know if people agree, but he was one of their better players. So that goes to show that what Diaz. Yes, look, as Avi, in terms of Diaz today, we still need more output in the
He
final.
only created 2 clear-cut chances today. It's not his fault that we couldn't finish him like Nunes couldn't
I'm
finish.
not having a go at him, Avi.
Gakpo.
I'm not having a go at him. But look, I actually didn't want to. I came on this show, I think out of all of us, a bit relaxed. And I'm the one that always goes crazy when we lose.
I think if it was any other opposition, it would have been fine. But because it's Manchester United,
yes, and I get that. But Avi, for me, the goal is the title. So if we're out of this, we're gonna have a loss against these guys, okay, it's the FA Cup. We've got 2 weeks off. I just didn't want an overreaction. But bloody, have we got one?
Let me just get through this last 2-3 more super chats. Another one from selection. Nice one, bro. Klopp is a naily man. Accept it. Lay off Gakpo. Klopp using him like he's Milner. A JDP coach. What's that? JDP coach will elevate our 8. I will elevate Gakpo. That ain't Klopp. The JDP coach. Yeah, selection. Please give us the code names for JDP. Come on, look at the 4 of us. We're not exactly A-level students, so come on, please help us here. Ryan Kawaja, another Sarib, you my guy, but bro, you're part of the goal and assist generation. Diaz didn't have a poor game at all. Mohammed Kibriya, I think he's sending in a quick cheeseburger. What's the cost of cheeseburgers these days at McDonald's? But Kibriya, send us your comment and then we'll put it up.
He said he wasn't even going to come on because he was upset. So fair play to him.
Billy's in a very joyous mood. Happy Ramadan to you, Billy. All jokes aside. Today was poor game management plus mistakes from Nunes and Elliott, nothing else. Let's not overplay it because it's United. It only hurts more because it's against them.
He's right.
And as the quadruple dream is over. Yeah, it was over as soon as Asim renamed it Klopp-truple. So I think that was only like 2 days old before that curse became a reality. Rayan Kawaja again, thank you once again, bro, for the super chat. Our team has responded to every bit of adversity, and yet fans want to doubt them. After one bad game, these players and managers deserve a back. And that's a great comment to make. And yes, maybe we are being harsh today, but it's just the level of opposition that we played against today. But guys, listen, there's 230 of who keeps interrupting, man? Like Yavan. Listen, we've got 230 people in this chat. Can we please make sure that you've liked and subscribed, guys? We've just hit 7K. It's a big milestone for Asim. He wants us to get to 10K. So let's have another push now between 7 to 10K. But listen, guys, please make sure you've liked and subscribed.
Why is it just a big milestone for me? It's a big milestone for all of us.
No, not for me. I'm not going to be... it's not a big milestone. Milestone is when we get to 100K subscribers. That's a milestone for me.
Who do you think you are?
My standards are high. I'm not a naily man. Okay? My standards are high. Anyway...
You don't want to build the house. You just want to live in it.
Asim, I do want to come on to Kelleher. There's a few criticism that he should have done better for that winner of Ahmed Diallo, another player who, was nowhere to be seen last season, out on loan in Sunderland, and then comes on the pitch today, gets the winner. I thought he was fine. I thought it was a good finish, but I've seen it again. And I thought there's not a lot that he could do, but
I've not seen it again. But at the ground, it felt like he didn't strike it well. It was it reminded me of that Michael Owen FA Cup winner against Arsenal. It sort of trickled into the corner. It felt like that because we were the other end. But maybe he struck it, sort of a lot cleaner than I thought. But I don't think if I'm super critical at the ground, and again, I need to see it again. I mentioned it to Gene and the lad who stood next to us as well. Though I thought Kelleher might have parried the first one a little better.
It was just straight hang. I don't think there was a lot that he could have done with that shot.
Okay, because
it was a strong shot. I mean, yes, maybe he could have punched it, but he used the flat hand, didn't he? The palm. I don't think there's a lot that he could have done.
Whilst on the ground, like I said, I probably need to watch the goals again. But when you were at the ground, it felt like he could have maybe parried it. But I don't know, maybe the strength of the shot he couldn't do much more than that, and it just went into the air, and McTominay tapped it in.
Just want to read this out. Big up Moby Huck, who gave us a very good education on the MCO, multi-club ownership and investment. Make sure you check out Thursday show. Or was it Friday show, Asim? Friday show. So, guys, if you haven't seen it, go and see it. There was some great content from Moby. Sorry, Gina? You're on mute. Gina's on mute.
It was Thursday.
Thursday show, my bad. Thursday show. So go and see it, guys. But he comes in with the comment, these players and club deserve our backing gratitude. We are still fighting for major honours. If Manchester United can get over the 7-0 beat down by our boys, we'll get over it today. It will all pass. And I hope so. Gina, I want to come to you. There's a 2-week break now. A much needed break for the boys.
100, man. We need it, Avi, especially with the injuries, with the amount of players that hopefully going to be coming back from injury. You know, you've got the likes of Trent and Jones, and Alisson isn't far away. We've seen Gravenberch come back as well, and this is exactly what we need. We need our players back. And again, if we had the likes of Trent today, you would have, that out ball that he's able to play. We missed that today, and Asim was talking about it whilst we were at the game. He was missed in that position. But look, it'll be good for us. Salah gets a 2-week break, a lot more fitness under the belt. Klopp come out, and I don't know, you're probably going to touch on this, is he mentioned the little tweaks to Diaz, Nunes, and I'm sure he mentioned one more. I can't remember who that was. Little tweaks that they've
twisted ankle on
Gakpo, yeah. 3 players. So hopefully it's nothing major, and it's probably come at a good time. These 3 probably, I just pray that these 3 don't actually go on international duty now, but it's come at the right time. Hopefully we can revitalize ourselves, and because like you mentioned, this is the business end, and if we can get all our players back before the vitals period starts, then it'll be huge for us. But look, Avi, we've got an amazing football team. We've lost a game. We've got an amazing football team with world-class footballers coming back. That's what we're relying on. We're relying on world-class footballers, and that's huge for us, because yes, when there's injuries, certain players come on. He hasn't been great at times, but we've always managed to come through, and we will come through. It's 10 league games, 10 huge games. And with all these players coming back, it can only bode well.
There's one more super chat, guys. With the amount of super chats that have been pouring into, I think tomorrow's iftar is sorted out for all of us. Tomorrow, but Billy's super chat, nice one, Billy. Klopp's game management on Thursday and today was poor. We should have gone 5-4-1, plus poor execution from our forwards in so many promising openings. Asim, do you want to take that 5-4-1?
Hindsight's a great thing, isn't it, Avi? And I get what Bilal is saying. But Klopp's never been that type of manager. He's doing it a lot more, or a little more this season, where he's changed setups. I can remember, even though it's forced upon him at Newcastle, we changed setup. Then we changed setup again with Tottenham. But barring those sort of days where we were sort of, obviously we'd had a disadvantage in terms of players, but I think he's a firm believer where he takes the game to the opposition, and with players like McAllister and Szoboszlai and Trent in midfield coming in, having the overloads in midfield and controlling games, we have transitioned more of a controlled set of type of play. But in changing systems, going back 5 at the back, I probably can count on one hand with the amount of times he's done it. He's just not that type of manager, I'm afraid, and he's not going to start now.
Yeah, we've got another super chat from Atik. Big up Atik. Thank you for tuning in. We go again, guys. Not to worry. Let's learn from it and get the business done for the rest of the season. And I want to come to you, Sarib. You've been quiet for the last 5-10 minutes.
I got a question as well for you.
You go first, because I did not ask you.
So I think Chin was speaking about the injuries to the attackers, the Nunes, the Diaz, and Gakpo. Now, obviously, international break is coming up, and we know that Nunes, Diaz, even McAllister are going to go round to South America and play in high altitudes. Do you think Klopp's maybe kind of, I don't want to say lied, but fabricated the injury kind of, because all 3 of them apparently are randomly injured somehow. Do you think he said that just so they can stay? Because Salah's going to stay because he's not going to international duty. Maybe he wants to keep the attackers together to kind of work together. Because look, it's no surprise Salah's not already not going, and the 3 other attackers that we have are all somehow injured. Do you think he's kind of saying, oh, you know what? Let me just say to them that they're injured.
I agree. I said it to Gene, because you put it on the WhatsApp group, didn't you? You were saying these 3 injuries, and I said, Gene, why hasn't this made news on Twitter? And then as soon as I said it, then all the big pages started, sort of putting his quotations up. But I think this is Jurgen Klopp thinking, you know what? I don't have any loyalty towards an international manager. I'm off onto the beach in the summer, and whether it's the Euros or the Copa America being played, he don't give a shit. Arguably his legacy on the line here, and it's about time our manager. How many times did Alex Ferguson do this? The moment his sort of players were just about to go, and Giggs picked up an injury, Scholes picked up an injury, Wayne Rooney picked up an injury, or whoever else it was as well. So I think Jurgen Klopp is clever I'm with you, Sarib. I don't think he's lying. They might have some fatigue about him. They might be going into the red zone, but I know he might not end up sort of getting and keeping him. But at least he's put huge pressure on them. At least maybe if they got 2 games scheduled, maybe play one of them, because he doesn't want them to come back fatigued. Because we've got, is it Brighton at home the next game,
Yeah.
and that's a test. If you think it's a different test altogether, and if you ask a lot of the players, whether it's the past and present ones at Liverpool, which in terms of what is the test, whether it's Anfield or away, a different type of test. A lot of them say Brighton at home or Brighton away is because the way they play and the way they set up. But De Zerbi's side is unpredictable. I know they're not being the same Brighton this year, but they have lost a lot of players and they've had a few injuries as well. But it's going to be a test, and traditionally they're a bogey side for us.
I think Ferguson was great at this, Gene, wasn't he? He was always like, when it came to the thick end of the season, the back end of the season, he would always get his players. England international, Ryan Giggs was known for it. He would sort of just skip going on to international duty with Wales. I think Klopp's, because it's his final season, he'll be hoping that these players, if it is just like a little niggle, or they just need resting, that they kind of tell the likes of Bielsa, who's at Uruguay, the likes of Scaloni at Argentina for McAllister, like certain players that, listen, I think we just need a break.
Yeah, and look, I think Gary Neville mentioned it on one of his podcasts that he was saying, look, Fergie was brilliant. And Fergie would come out and say, this is the business end of the season. If it meant him taking 2 or 3 of his main players out, he would do it. And yeah, Klopp, look, to be fair, we've always been we're good in terms of letting our players go on international duty, but it's come to a point now we don't have a choice. We've picked up so many injuries whilst they've actually been on international duty. That's another thing that really gets to me, is it always seems to be Liverpool that always pick up injuries whilst they're away. So for the first time, if we're sort of playing the game, let us play the game for once. We've been, like Asim mentioned, he's shown loyalty to the international clubs. Now he's like, okay, I'm going for everything here. I'm going for two more trophies, and if I need to play the game here, I will.
Another super chat from Selection. Solana must have hit 200 while we've been speaking, Selection.
A Selection
thank you.
won the lottery.
Huh?
A Selection won the lottery.
I think he has. I think he's a big investor in
it today.
I think he's a big investor in a certain crypto coin. So Selection, nice one for the super chat once again, man. Bless you up. Klopp without momentum, international break against Amanda, he's yet to beat. We are not good immediately post break. Zerbi usually wreck us performance wise. Asim, do you want to comment to that? Does this affect the league form now? Is there going to be a certain mentality shift, or do you just think, no, it's just a FA Cup game, Abby, we're reading too much into it? It will be business back to usual against Brighton at home against a very well structured De Zerbi team.
The manager was asked to I quickly put his press conference on in the car when I was coming back from the game, Avi, and I think he was asked a similar question, wasn't he? And he was really energetic towards it, and he was snappy as well, if I can add. And he said, look, if you think this is a mental sort of obstacle that they'll sort of incur going forward, then you don't know these players as human beings as well as I do. I'm paraphrasing here, but that's what he meant. And I think that's what we have to take a step back and say, okay, this was Man United. We played probably the occasion rather than the team, granted. But, we won everything there is over the last, 3-4 years since Klopp's been here. We won big trophies. We've already won one this year. It is a hiccup. We fell, but you have to dust yourself off and we have to go again. And there'll be plenty of more hurdles. There will be plenty of more sort of situations where we're 1-0 down. We might be even 2-0 down in games. We have to use our experience. We have to use our leaders. And I think sometimes you have to experience these. And I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. I'm really upset that we lost Man United in the manner that we have done today. But you have to learn from experiences. These guys are world-class players. We've all said these guys have got mentality sort of monsters as well. The sort of mentality of monsters is back invigorated in these players as well this season. And they've done the unexpected in terms of being in this position. If you ask every single one of us, every single fan in the Liverpool in the fan base, where Liverpool would be on the 14th or 15th of March, nobody would have said they would be in this position. Nobody. So in terms of accomplishment to this sort of stage, setting ourselves up, yes, were we realistically? I have to hold my hands up. Yeah, I was enjoying the ride, the roller coaster of the Klopp Pearl and whatever. I was enjoying the hype, but in terms of being really realistic, was it realistic? Has it ever, the great Pep Guardiola side haven't won the quadruple? So look, we have to provide a bit of perspective. We were always going to lose one. And I'd rather have lost this today. I asked Gene the question yesterday. I know I was playing devil's advocate as well yesterday a bit, Gene, that, you know what, if we had to choose one, would you choose the FA Cup tomorrow or the league? And Gene straight away said the league every single day and twice on Sunday. And this is what exactly I mean. We have to, and we're hurting. We're emotional. We're an emotional team. We're an emotional set of fans. And emotion has come out today. And I wanted to go back to a comment before I finish. But look, we'll be all right. We'll reset. The boys will come back. And it's a shame that they have to go to international duty with this sort of in their head. They're human beings after all, Avi. It does affect them. But in terms of our experiences, will do us good. And we can rely on them. Don't worry about that.
There's a story. I'm going to tell it now. But on the night of the League Cup win, Gene was driving back with the little one. His son, who was in the passenger seat. Sarib was on the phone as well. And we were all like, just talking about this possible quadruple. And this was actually before the Southampton FA Cup game, Asim. And these two as my witness, and God watching from above, I said to these boys, we're going to play Manchester United in the FA Cup and we're going to lose to them. And these two were like, where will you be in Southampton? I go, I've got a bad hunch that we're going to meet United in the FA Cup and they're just going to do us.
Why are you flexing that?
Lo and behold, I will never put anything like that in the stratosphere. I've got another super chat from Adnan Tariq. Passion Josh, have I said that right?
Yeah,
Passion Josh. From Amwid Sheen, we'll be read once, we'll be alright once. Is that alright? We'll be alright. Does that mean that? We'll be read once. Trent and Jota are back. They'll come back at the crucial time. Believe, lads. Love your passion, by the way. We love you too, Adnan Tariq. And another super chat from Adnan Tariq. We'll be right once Trent and Jota are back. They'll come back. Oh, that's the same one. No, we'll be right once Trent and Jota are back. They'll come back at the crucial time. Believe, lads. Number 20 is in reach. By the way, love your passion and bands, lads. Sarib, I want to come to you. Are you still so we've drawn against Man City last week.
Yeah.
We got Atlanta in the Europa League now in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Lost in the FA Cup today.
Yeah.
And then we go again in the league in 2 weeks' time against Brighton. Can we win the last 9 or 10 out of the possible? Yeah. Can we win the last sort of? Can we go 10 and 10 or can we win 9 out of the possible 10 to win the league?
Yeah, of course. If you look at our fixtures as well, I think they're quite favourable compared to Arsenal and Man City. We don't really have to go to many away grounds, maybe Villa, maybe United. But if you look at our running compared to Arsenal and City, it's much more fluid. We've got a lot more home games as well. But of course, we're more than capable to win every game. Do I think we're going to do it? It's a different story. But it's definitely possible. But it's also possible with City and Arsenal. That's why you always have to look at them as well, because at this moment we're competing with two different teams, and any little slip up there, even a point, is like a loss. Because in this title race, when you're facing two of the best teams in the world, you have to make sure you go into every game trying, getting the winner. Because we saw how crumbling it can be getting a draw in the run-ins against Man City. Now we've got two of them, so there's literally no room for error now. If today was a lesson, and if today was the game we're going to lose, then absolutely fine. Let's just go on and kick on this season.
Sarib, who's your favourites right now, though?
Arsenal.
You said Arsenal, but okay,
Arsenal.
you mentioned
even with the Bayern Munich games, yeah. You think?
Yeah, I think they go through.
You still believe that they're still the favourites, especially with the Bayern Munich game, and if they get through that, they're going to be playing Real Madrid or Man City.
I don't think they're going to win the Champions League. I think they'll get through Bayern. I think City or Real Madrid will knock them out, but then they've got one competition to focus on. City have got an extra game to play.
You'll be down to like 2 games then towards the end of the season. Then
that's why I think
in the semi-final. I'm talking about the league. Why I'm asking that question is because their pile up of fixtures, because I looked at their fixtures, they're going to have a huge amount of big games all at once. And Arsenal have never been in this position in previous seasons where they're going to have to play that many big games against the biggest clubs in Europe and produce. If you still believe they're still favourites, then fair play.
Look, I just think over the majority of the season, barring that little December fall, they've shown quality throughout the year. And I don't want to get onto Arsenal before everyone starts saying I'm an Arsenal fan again, but you asked for my opinion this time. So yeah, I just think they are They are really, really consistent. They've started this year really well. You can say the fixtures have been favourable, but to start the year with 8 wins in a row is ridiculous. It's really, really good. It's never been done before. At the start of a calendar year, it's never been done before in the Premier League. So that's something we should note as well. No team's ever done that. So I think that's something notable to do as well. I think they've beaten us. They've beaten Man City this season as well. They've gone to Anfield and got a point. Then the real test for them is going to be in 2 weeks when they go to the Etihad. I think if they win that game, if Arsenal go to Etihad and win that game, I don't think there's a question anymore about if they're going to win the league or not. Because I think Man City are the one you have to like beat to like showcase that you are the best team in the league, because they are the champions and they are the treble winners.
You called Arsenal the best team in the league a few weeks ago.
I still think they are, because they beat City early in the season. They have beaten Man City this season.
You predict City will beat them in the Champions League?
Yeah, if Arsenal play City in the Champions League, I think Arsenal will go through against Bayern. Whoever they play, Real Madrid and City, I think.
But don't you normally favour the better side?
Yes, but I also have to take into account as well that this is their first time in the Champions League as well, and they haven't got the heritage, or they haven't played these matches before. Whereas in the league, they've done it last season. They were in the same position last season, but they're much more consistent and much more. I think they'll get off the line now.
Okay.
One at a time.
The reason Sarib mentioned 8 in a row, that Arsenal have done amazingly well, 8 in a row, respect to them for doing 8 in a row. There's teams in this league that are on the same point and 1 point behind them that have done 15 in a row. Just thought I'd get that out there.
But we were at one point, Gene, we were like 4 points ahead of them. We were 4 points clear of Arsenal.
They beat us. Yes, we were. They beat us in that game, which was the difference. But it's easy to say, yeah, they're on an amazing run, 8 in a row, and that they will carry on. But the likes of they're favourites. They've never been in the Champions League and all that sort of stuff. I get that. But what I'm trying to say is they're up against sides that were in the Champions League, won the Champions League, and still did 15 wins in a row. So that's who they're up against. So look, it's easy to say that, yeah, Arsenal have been on an amazing, they beat us in an amazing form, fair play, respect to that. But then to just say, okay, the 8 in a row, yeah, fair play to them. They did well, not discounting that. But just
you can say this as well.
There's teams that have done 15 in a row, and there's still these 2 teams that have done 15 in a row are one's level on points and one's point behind them.
Look, Gene, let me say something else before it goes. So you said that I said as well, they haven't been in these positions before, and yeah, they played Porto in midweek, right? And they got through regardless of the situation. They got through. They won on penalties. That's absolutely fine. That can happen. You can be taken to the context of the matches. You can be taken far in matches by anyone. It's Champions League. There's a reason why that team's in the Champions League anyway. This is the first time Arsenal have made it to the Champions League quarterfinals in about 16 years, 14 years. Isn't that a sign to show that they're starting to get over the line? They're starting to get over the line, because you said they've never been in this position before, but they also haven't played the Champions League quarterfinal for 14 years, and they haven't got past the round of 16, and now they finally made it to the Champions League quarterfinals. So if you're saying that, you can also say that they've done it as well because they got through. No,
my issue is when you get to this stage, experience we all know that the Champions League experience is key. Man City have been playing and trying to win the Champions League for God knows how many years. Look how long it took them to get to this sort of level and to win. When you are going for a title and the Champions League in the same year, and it's cutthroat where every single game is you have to be at 100% optimum every single game. And if you've not been there and done it previously, I think that is where Arsenal's downfall will come.
But isn't last season's downfall last season? Doesn't that keep them in good stead this season?
No, because Avi, they were not in the Champions League last season. They were just had 1 game a week to concentrate on last season. Yes, in the league,
they won the Europa League as well.
They still bottled it. But Avi, they still bottled it because they were God knows how many points ahead, and City walked the league at the end of it. Right, and they shouldn't have let them walk it. If they challenged Man City properly, look, a challenge is a challenge. They didn't challenge Man City to the last game of the season where Liverpool have done in previous seasons. So they went there, they did it. They didn't. They bottled it.
Make the same case.
You know what I don't understand?
One at a time.
Is when when you talk about Liverpool, and we've been talking about Liverpool, Avi's been mentioned the term and the statement that I don't want to be nearly men. Nearly men is like going to the finals, going to the semi-finals, losing the league on the last day, like one of them touched upon. But when they talk about Arsenal, it's that experience of what we termed they bottled it. They'll say obviously they've got some injuries and this and that. Yeah, TK, there's some context to that. But they're saying that will stand them in good stead. Why can't they be nearly men as well? But you're saying that's good experience for them. Why can't it be a good experience for us when we lost the title on the last day?
No, but it is. It absolutely is, because
you can't have it both ways, can you?
I didn't say that. That's what Avi said. I didn't say that. I didn't say nearly. That's what
Whoever said it. Whoever said it.
No, I said
It doesn't make sense.
But that gave us the experience, Asim, to go win the league the next season. We
Next
finished
season,
we finished a point behind City.
That's what I mean.
Go
That's my
again.
point.
That's exactly what I'm saying about Arsenal. I'm making the judgment that
They've
they
not
were
done that though.
So why are you
He,
calling
no,
him
but
journeyman then?
he's taking guys. Again, there has to be context.
I didn't say their name.
He's saying Sarib is saying that based on last season with Arsenal in the league,
Yeah.
this season it's kept him in good stead. And this squad, you got to remember, this squad is young. They have had a £100 million player team as well.
It can work both ways. Avi.
Both ways,
It
yeah.
can be a mental block as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can be. Well, look at Manchester City. Took about 8 to 10 years to win the Champions League because it's a mental block.
Well, longer than that, it's taken him nearly 100 years to win the Champions League.
But you know what I mean since Guardiola.
Yeah, of course.
You can say that as well. And we can make this. We can make this about Liverpool if you want, because the Liverpool channel. 17-18, it was our first season in the Champions League since 2014-15, right? None of these players as a whole played in the Champions League together. Salah had a few.
Since 2007, Table.
No,
We haven't been in the Champions League final since 2007.
2014-15.
You're talking about Europa League.
No, 2014-15, we were in the Champions League. You're not listening.
Europa League.
Avi,
you
we came
said-
second in 2013-14, man.
You're right.
You're talking about 2014-15, a Europa League final under Klopp, not Champions League.
That was 15-16, Avi. 15-16 was Europa.
Yeah, in the Europa League final, yeah. We also in
Gerrard
2014-15.
Smith.
14-15, we qualified. We was in the Champions
Oh, we were
League.
qualified, yeah, and yeah, Rodgers, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna tell me 17-18. That Liverpool team didn't have any. That Liverpool team didn't have any experience. Asim. That Liverpool
Avi,
team,
back to the drawing board, lad. Back to the drawing board.
listen. You need to listen. This Liverpool team didn't have the experience in 17-18. Yeah, we made it all the way to the final. We can make the same case, and I think 17-18 Liverpool was not at our fluid best. And you can also argue that this Arsenal team is better than
We
that.
only went for a league that year, though, Sarib. We just went for the Champions League that year.
Exactly. So a team that's up there in the
Arsenal
league.
went for both. That's the difference. This is what I was trying to point out to you. Last season, Arsenal had only one trophy to go for. That was the league, one game a week. Liverpool in that season that you're talking about, we didn't have the league to go for, so we were going for the Champions League where we lost to Real Madrid in the final. Going for two competitions at the same time with this amount of intensity is not easy. And I'm telling you now, you'll see Arsenal. Look, I was over the moon when I saw them draw. That was the best draw that Liverpool fans could have imagined. Arsenal getting the Bayern, City getting Real, and them two play whoever the winners are play each other. I actually want both of them to win, and then at least both of them can go at it in the semi-final because there's more games, more. There's more games they're gonna have to play, and the games against they're gonna be intense games, which is all obviously gonna have an impact on their league form. I can't see these teams now having them fixtures and saying they're gonna come on win every game. Look, with all due respect to Liverpool, look, we're in the Europa League. It is an advantage because we don't have the big game. Yes, we've got Atalanta. No disrespect to Atalanta, they can probably do us. They might beat us. I don't know, but it's not Real Madrid, is it? It's not a Bayern Munich. So it's hopefully going to be slightly easier.
What I'm saying, Gene, I don't think they're going to win the Champions League. That's what I'm saying to you. The judgment I've made.
It's the fixture congestion that I'm talking about. It's not about winning.
It's only one or two games, Gene. It's only one or two matches more.
Semi-final is 4 matches, bro. You said that they're going to beat. You said that they're going to beat Bayern Munich.
Oh yeah, okay, fair enough.
So
Yeah, I think they go up.
The European elite.
That's fair enough, but we can say the same thing. We will go far in the Europa League.
Yeah, but it's Atalanta, isn't it? And what I'm trying to, bro, the Champions League is completely different. You know that better than me.
It's the fixtures. We will go to places in the Europa League that Arsenal will never touch in Europe, and City will touch in Europe. I think that plays a factor too.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. We're going to countries that we wouldn't usually go to in the Champions League.
The level that we're playing against with all Arsenal,
Bayern Munich, I agree with that.
Bayern Munich 51-49. That's the experience that they've been there.
Yeah.
Whereas Liverpool, if you're playing Atalanta, I'd say look 65% Liverpool, 35 Atalanta. We're still the favourites in this game. Man City, Arsenal, they're playing Real Madrid or Man City. They're not favourites. They're playing Bayern Munich. I still don't see them as favourites.
This is a really good point, Gene. I think this is a really good point. We basically play the same players that we play in the league games that in the Europa League. I think now if we're getting to the knockout phases, we're going to be playing our strongest team twice a week now.
But the intensity is nowhere near the same as the games that they're going to play.
I think we'll brush
Atlanta. Of opposition is nowhere near. We're playing Atalanta. They've got Bayern Munich, and it's completely different.
I just think based on what they've done last season as well, and I think they are competing now with really, really good teams. I just think based on last season, them getting the experience of losing that league title, being in control, I think they get over the line now. That's all. I've not said anything else. That's all I've said.
It's Gary Neville. The real Gary Neville has tipped Arsenal to win the league as well. So is it any different that this guy wasn't going to go against the grain? Listen, guys, I need to read some super
I
chats.
said this in August.
I need to read some super chats, you idiot. Mohammed Kibriya, transitioning season, yet we are still in the mix. Klopp has got the memo, the last dance. Selection with another super chat. Thank you, mate. What you man saying if Arteta matches Klopp's PL titles during his farewell tour, how does that affect his league's legacy? I think Arsenal win the PL, by the way. Sarib, how does that affect Klopp's legacy if Arteta matches him?
I think if you look at it from the outside, I think it's very easy to say that, oh yeah, Klopp's got one Premier League, so does Mikel Arteta, which is also one of the reasons why I don't want him to win it, which is why I'm not saying this I'm not saying this for any reason. I just think they're going to win it, and I don't want them to win it. That's just the rest of reality. I'd rather Man City win it if anyone else. If we don't win it, I'd rather City win it because we're used to it. Whereas the Arsenal, they're going to go level with Klopp's Premier League legacy, and Klopp can't get another one next season. I don't want Arsenal to win the league. But I think it's tough to say, Avi, because you know we've been robbed by 1 point twice. You know, I think it was a robbery. If you look at this decision that went against us some of those years, we've also won a Champions League that Arteta hasn't won, but they are more than capable of doing so. And that's what scares me because we should have won. But if we're being honest, under Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool should have won a lot more. And that's the sad reality. We're going to look at this time and thinking it was a really good period, but there should have been a lot more trophies in there.
I just want to read Billy's super chat.
If it wasn't for the 115 charges, we would have won a lot more. But anyway, that's another discussion for another day.
Sarib, just out of curiosity, who do you want the Champions League game to this season?
Sorry?
Like, who do you want the Champions League? Who you support in Champions League? If you had to just
Atletico Madrid.
Okay, so it's not Arsenal.
No,
I thought you might want Arsenal to win, and that's not because I think I'm not having banter with you. I thought you might want Arsenal. Okay, fair enough. Billy says we're believers. We ain't going anywhere. The bus needs a service, nothing more. One bad result, and the doubters have revealed themselves. You see, oh Billy, please forget this little mumbo jumbo belief talk that you always give us. Okay, thank you for the super chat. Someone, Kieran Dolan, big up Kieran Dolan, always a regular. He brought Gakpo on to kill the game. He killed the game.
I was going to tweet that now.
Yeah, it's a brilliant comment, though. Look,
you know what? And you know what? This Kieran Dolan, he put this comment up at the beginning of the show, and I saved it because I thought I'll find the right moment to hit it. That little note. Lamon Adamokliun, if I've said that right, Adamola Adamolekun. Sarib, Arsenal completed last year against.
You just butcher it. I feel sorry for the guys. That's such a nice name. You absolutely destroyed it. How about one more attempt? Go on.
Asim wants a giggle.
Yeah, I
want
him to get it right.
Oh no, you had
He should
Lanham. Just call him Lanham, isn't it? I don't need to say his last name.
He should put Aguero on the end of Kun. Ademola Lukun Aguero would be absolutely amazing.
I see you said it nicely. There you go. Sarib, Arsenal competed last year against only Man City, while this year they're competing against two teams. It's a different ball game this year.
Yes, respect.
And that's completely understandable.
It's a different ball game.
I don't know how that invalidates my point. They're still first.
They're going to know about it.
They're competing with more teams than they're first. So surely they're better, no?
Yeah, but you're treating Liverpool like we're 10 points behind Arsenal. 11 points. Yeah, you are.
Just because I don't think Liverpool are going to win the league. I don't know why it irks.
Yeah. Look.
I don't think we're going to win the league.
It's just your approach.
Ale, Billy, my very own Billy from Slough. He wants Arsenal to win the Champions League. Ale, this is the kind of tabla that we have.
He's
you know.
No, he probably does. No. I bet you any money he probably does. He probably does want Arsenal to win.
I know Bilal.
Obviously, we're going to wrap up.
He's trolling.
One thing that I just cannot
Gene, is it a rest?
Avi, 1 second. One thing I just cannot understand, and I'm sorry, Sarib, but how a Liverpool, and I think Yusuf made the comment as well, how a Liverpool fan who's neck to neck with Arsenal on the same amount of points, even if he still say Arsenal are going to win the league, it's just my head. I'm sorry, boys. It just does not accept that type of crap.
What I think and what I want are two different things, though.
That's not the point.
Of course,
no,
that's the point.
but Gene, he wants Liverpool to win, but he thinks Arsenal are going to edge it. Why can't we commend that? Why can't we commend that? Why can't we commend that? No. Why
That's
can't he
more
just?
Get it?
No, Gene, hold on. Why can't we commend that? That he just said, listen,
Great
my
comment.
point of view is, from my heart, I want Liverpool to win, but with my brain, I'm thinking that Arsenal will win. Why can't we commend that?
Well, they never won anything in their lives, and they won these. They're going to win it. I can understand him saying Man City. Yes, it makes sense, Toraja. Yeah, I get it. Man City to an extent, I get it. But Latu Arsenal never won anything in their lives. They come and they're going to go and win the title over a Liverpool and Man City when they're not exactly the same thing. I'm sorry, boys, but that doesn't
Be
sit.
honest, Gina.
Anyway,
It's my
carry on.
opinion. You can disagree with it. I want Liverpool to win the league, of course, and I want Liverpool to win everything. I want us to win the World Cup, Euros, everything. I want us to win everything. We're not going to do it because
That makes
there's
sense.
teams that are there that are competing.
CD goes, I think
Believe
Arsenal
a little bit, man.
Gene, 1 minute now. I'll take the hat off now. Peaky Blinders. I think Arsenal win 8 of their final 10 games minimum. However, I can see Liverpool dropping points in a couple of games as well and just missing out. Sarib, just give me the games that you think Liverpool will draw or lose.
This is a
No, hold on, just for Sarib.
Consistent. I said in the league, City, Arsenal, Liverpool won't lose another game.
Where will we drop our points then?
Potentially, I think Brighton at home. Potentially, I think international break. If we have injuries,
Gene, you can't turn your eye because they've beaten us and drawn against us the last 2 seasons.
they haven't beaten them in 2 years. They haven't beaten them in 2 years. They beat us 3 times last year. Three times. Draw, two wins as well. No, 2 wins and a draw.
So 1 against Brighton, and then win the next 9.
We're not lose though.
No, win the next 9. Gene, 1 minute.
No, I don't know. It's hard. I need to look at the fixtures because we're playing Thursday, Sunday for the next couple of weeks as well. Look at go to our fixtures in April. Asim, if one of you can pull it up. We've got Thursday, Saturday.
Do we beat United away, Sarib?
Have you seen Arsenal's fixtures?
I don't know if it's going to be
Potentially, if they get City as well, they play City 3 times in 3 weeks. They play Chelsea. They play Tottenham over like a spanning of about 15 to 18 days. I think they have about 5 to 6 games. Tough fixtures. I don't exactly know.
Villa away as well. Aston Villa away. We still have to go there.
Of all the games, it's the Brighton home, Labia.
I mean,
of all the games that we've got to play and go away from home, my man finds Brighton at home.
We just have to go to Old Trafford and Villa Park. That's it.
Gene, if we're going to drop any points, give me a game where you think we'll drop points, or do you think we're going 10 for 10?
Look, I'll be honest with you, Avi. I will always.
No, but you can be a realist, but let's not be a dreamer as well.
If we are going to drop points, I think Fulham away is our game because they're in form and we've generally we've sort of struggled there. They play well, man. And that guy that boy is on. Who's that striker that they've got?
Rodrigo Muniz. What a player! We never mentioned him.
His judgment is the same as me. We struggle at Fulham away. We haven't beaten Brighton over 2 years.
Brighton this season are not the same Brighton they were for a couple of years ago.
You think they're
I'll tell you another factor. At home this season, we are not Brighton we're not last season's Liverpool. We're a completely different side at home this season. Brighton are going to get it from us. Relax. And when the only Fulham away is a difficult game. But you honestly, Brighton away is home. Even if he said Fulham away, I can understand it. Even United to an extent.
I'm supposed to Fulham away because that's his opinion.
In Brighton previous years, we struggled with McAllister. And he's ours now. So I think some people forget how good this Liverpool side is. It has its frailties, but it has so much to like.
I think we will know how good it is in the final stretch of the season.
Sorry,
we'll see how good it is at the final stretch of the season.
Of course,
whether we walk the walk, whether we will walk the walk, and I think we will. I think we will.
Of course, but we've proven it. We've got a track record more than Arsenal about walking the walk.
Yeah. But they've got the heritage too. They've got the heritage in the Premier League.
Team, we're not the same team we were 2 years ago, though. It's a different team.
Arteta's brought a winning mentality. Arteta has won the league with City. He knows how tough it is to go with Liverpool, to go against the likes of Liverpool, toe to toe last day of the season. Yes, he's an assistant coach, but he would have learned a lot from Pep as well.
Avi, I'm not just saying it, and this is not clickbait. If we keep our players fit, and with the return of Curtis Jones, of Jota in a couple of weeks' time, Trent, I think I said that we can win. Potentially, we can win every game. Realistically, I think we can at least win 9 out of the 10 games.
Where do we drop our points, Asim?
Don't say, we're not. If you say we're going to drop,
why are you interrupting for?
No, because Gene's going to get.
You're getting lynched in the comments, and you're still talking. Let him finish.
I'm Gene.
Forget it.
I don't want. It'd be easy to say Old Trafford, but I think we beat them comfortably when we go back. We treat them in a way. This experience today will help us. If I'm going to stick to number 9 games, I think we beat Villa as well, because that high line will kill him, especially with Trent being back, pinging balls from deep, just like he did at Anfield. Sean Dyche might get a draw out of us.
I'd say Goodison Park as well. Maybe, but I think we could drop our points. But I think we win 9
Gene?
out of the 10.
You gonna say anything to them?
I think we're gonna win 9 of them.
Gene said Fulham.
Where we dropping points, Gene?
I genuinely believe we're gonna win the title.
Gene, where we dropping points?
He said Fulham.
Oh,
Fulham is the place that I think we do the rest. With the players that are coming back, we'll be a different kettle.
That's a good point. And Dico says, when do you think the derby game will be played? Because there's no actually slot for it at the
Towards
moment.
end of the season, I
Yeah.
think.
It'll be the FA Cup weekend, won't it? The spare weekend when the semis are. We'll play. We'll fully fit it in then.
Do you think everyone's gonna have a break then, though, when the semi-finals are on? I think the league games will still be played that day, no?
I think we beat
Yeah,
Fulham.
they get played with the teams that are in the league and in the semi-final. They're gonna have to.
They'll fit it in midweek, Sarib.
Yeah.
You know, I think Fulham were below par. I expected a really good performance in the second leg at Craven Cottage after the. Did we win 2-1 on that night?
It was 1-1, wasn't it?
19.
Draw 1-1.
It was 1-1.
No, but we won 2-1 at Anfield, didn't we?
First time, yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Gakpo scored in that one.
I think that was Liverpool controlling that game.
We played well in that game. It was only the last 15-20 where they missed a couple of chances towards the end.
And
But we generally
Gakpo's the winner.
yeah, and I think this is where we were obviously talking about it earlier about, you know, Liverpool and Klopp's side. I'd take Klopp's side as sort of style of play over Arsenal and City any day of the week. But I think sometimes we do need to rein it in a touch, because we can't exert so much energy every single game chasing games, because it's going to bite us out in the ass. And it is a little concerning where Jurgen Klopp for the first time has accepted that this is the first time that he was sort of concerned that he saw his team struggling. He said that today.
Yeah,
He accepted it. So if he's for the first time accepted it, then he needs to manage that. He needs to manage those players. He needs to manage those games. And you know, when it was 2-0 up, you don't need to go for third and fourth. Sometimes just reserve your energy and use that energy the next game. And you just don't need to encourage teams. And that's where I think Arsenal and Manchester City are better at it, because they just take less risks. But I think we're probably at the other end of the extreme, where we score more goals in terms of XG. I know Sarib don't like it, chances created and all that sort of stuff, but we do concede a lot more chances. 3 shots conceded at Old Trafford today. Way too many.
Guys, one last super chat from Selection again. My gaffer Zerbi gets a result, unfortunately, against Klopp, dropping another masterclass on Klopp's head. Let's see about that Selection. Let's see on that. That's 2 weeks to go, yeah. Gina, last question for the table before we wrap up. How many trophies will we be parading
Avi,
come end of May?
you know what my answer is? 3.
Asim, how many trophies will we be parading come end of May?
You're gonna say 5.
3. Of course.
Sarib?
3.
2. Europa and the League Cup.
You?
I hope I'm wrong. But let me disclaimer. I hope I am wrong. I hope we have 3. I hope so.
I've gone from 4 to 3.
Avi, what about you?
Even Shahab.
From 4 to 3. From 4 to 3. A lot of 3s. Shahab said 2. Shahab, I'm presuming that's the league and the League Cup.
That better mean a league, by the way.
You think you lose?
Jamie Phillips, big up Jamie Phillips. Go and like and subscribe to his channel as well. Great guy.
No way we don't. No way we lose the Europa League, man. No way. We're not gonna. There's no way.
Look at more. Like Asim says, we're doing a mad one. You guys thought we're doing a mad one. Like I was sort of referring to the Klopp Rupel.
No, I was the man in the league. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you remembered that.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thanks, Jamie, for the congrats. Thank you very much, guys. That is a wrap. What a day. Maybe we were overcritical. Maybe I lost my rag a little bit on a loss on the FA Cup, but it's United, and when we lose to United, I just completely lose it. But I hope everything was tongue in cheek. It's just been another hour and 40 minutes today. But look, Thank you guys for the support in the comments. You guys have taken us to 7K. Next target will be 10K, and week by week we're doing more and more content, 3-4 shows a week now. Some exciting things ahead. So please, guys, go and give Sajid Iqbal, Asim, and Clockcam. We need an account for Clockcam as well. And Sarib, all alike on Twitter, guys. Please go
and go like Blue Chip as well. Go follow.
No, you don't need to follow me.
Go follow Blue Chip.
I'm more than just being
Go
rubbish.
follow Blue Chip. Because he'll make you believe Liverpool are signing fucking 25 players in the summer. So go over, go over to Twitter and give him
a comment of the day. We should do. You know what? We should always do a comment of the day.
Yeah,
a comment of the day. I know. With the two things.
Can I do my comment of the day?
Before we end it, there's two things.
I don't know.
Player of the weekend. Player of the weekend in any competition, any European league.
Oh God, I didn't watch much football this
season. I'm going for Rodrigo Muniz. I thought he was an absolute havoc against Spurs.
I didn't watch much football this weekend, so I love
either of you. I'll be honest.
Pick a United player.
Oh fuck that!
Menu. I'd say 45 minutes for Menu was really good.
Kobe Manu. Okay. Player of the weekend.
Bernardo Silva.
Yeah. Good performances.
Abi, can I say just my comment?
You have to pick Bernardo Silva.
Shahab's got the Florian Wirtz was brilliant today. Absolutely.
Yes. City and Arsenal players, man, and United players. We all good, Lord.
Musiala's goal was good as well.
I should have said Gakpo.
Yeah, I said Gakpo. I'm happy with that. Don't pick Bernardo
Silva. No, Gene, you can't go for him like that.
Abi, can I say there was a comment? I don't know who it was. So I apologize for that, and I hope he's in the building at the moment. And I didn't start it as well, so I apologize. But yeah, someone said great show tonight, and the lad who I didn't start, he said this is not manufactured drama. It's just emotions, but different views as well. I think summed it up really well, and I just want to point that out that we have no premeditated chats before we come on camera and say you're going to say this and I'm going to say this, you're going to go for me and I'm not going to go for you. These conversations that we have in front of camera are the exact type of conversations that we have on WhatsApp and WhatsApp calls. So we don't have any agenda. We know what we're going to talk about. But like you guys who've been watching for the last hour and 40 minutes, we go from one subject to another within the space of 30 seconds, sometimes 10 seconds, because there's no agenda, there's no sort of structure to it. Whatever comes, wherever goes, say what you want, whenever you want. And I think that's what you guys really like. So yeah, thank you very much for engaging in the chat. And we'll provide you a lot more content going forward.
We need to find a way of releasing our WhatsApp audios and conversations straight off the game. Because then you'll see whether our channel is premeditated, if it's a script that we're writing, like from Quentin Tarantino script that we know what we're saying. It isn't. It is really off the cuff. And guys,
what we need to see is Gakpo's performances and what Abby says afterwards. That's what we need. That's what we need to really clip, mate. He comes for me when Gakpo plays. He comes for me. I'm not the one playing, am I?
We can't release that footage. But guys, please like and subscribe on your way out if you haven't already. We shall see you. I'm not sure about this week. I think we need a bit of a break as well. But we'll see what we can conjure up and muster up. For a show in the midweek, Thursday or Friday. But guys, this has been Born in Red, over and out. Thank you for the 7K, on our way to 10K. Thank you. Good night.